Hello guys, and welcome back to another video of TechnoSpike. So in this video I am going to show you an error which I am facing. Basically, whenever this is an extension I built which actually tries to make an API call to the application, like the Shopify application, but it's failing and it's saying something like that this request has been blocked by CORS policy. Response pre-flight doesn't have these checks and stuff like this. So I actually spent a couple of days fixing it, and I want you to know that how we could actually fix it. So if I press this button, what this action is actually doing, it's trying to make an API call to the backend of the shop. So I can see, yep, it's running. So if I clear this console and I try to refresh this page, you will see that now if I try to make this API call, it returns this error. So let's just quickly fix it. So I will be doing it from the scratch. So in order that you could get a better understanding of what is actually happening. So let's just dive into it without any further delay. So this is the actually code. I can give you an overview of it. So this is the extension which is making API call basically. So it's this URL. Actually I'm getting it from the Shopify toml file, which you can find here, and this is where my application is deployed. And if you know the remix setup, you can I'm making call to this endpoint app.receive API, and if I go inside this, you can see that it's getting the request and it's just checking if the request is post, and I'm console logging the request data, but somehow it's not working and it's throwing an error because of some cross policy origin. And the first solution I tried was this, that here where you're making the API call, let me just share with you what you could actually do. So here after the body, you can set the mode and set it to no CORS. Yep. And once you save it, and now you have to deploy this application once again in order to like actually see the results. So I'm deploying it, npm run deploy, and once I will deploy it, you will see that this time I will get an opaque response because no CORS is actually for this kind of responses. Like it will it doesn't show you whether it has succeeded or it is not, so you cannot know what's happening. So let's just try it with no CORS. Okay, so I am here and I will refresh the page. Now I guess my latest extension is deployed. In this case, when I will make an API call, I will get this 530 response from it, which will say that the post something is wrong. Why it gave me 530? So um, let's just edit this code a bit and see what's happening here. So 530, I am not returning 530. So if request options, I should actually request method is equal to post count data await request.json console log data return no cost 200 400 nothing here. Okay, so let's just, so most probably it will return an opaque response in order if the desired. I even passed this authorization and stuff like this, but it doesn't work. So let's just quickly make a new application and try to make it work. I will stop this server now, and now we will try to create a new application from the very scratch. So let's just open a console. So I am opening my terminal. Inside the terminal you need to create a directory, and I will firstly move to the desktop, and I will create a directory, and I will name it to proxy, because I will be using proxy slash Shopify. And now if I open this cd and proxy tab Shopify, now I'm inside it. So I can run this command. Just give me a second. So yep, inside this terminal, where was it? Here it is. Inside the terminal, you need to run this command in order to generate a Shopify app. So npm init address Shopify app at the latest. So just I want to proceed with it. It might take a few steps in order to create the application. So it's creating application for me. Then it will ask me what do you want? Do you want to build an extension or a remix app? So I will go for the remix app. This time I will try using Java TypeScript because it is most appropriate, and if somebody will be seeing my video, if anybody will be watching my videos, so definitely they will be working on the latest environment. So yes, I will create it as a new application, and I will write it as Shopify Proxy YouTube. Okay, so let's just create this application. Once this application will be created, we will move on to the next part, which is more interesting. Like we will actually open this application and try to run it. So yeah, let's just wait for it to complete it. It's actually installing the dependencies on and all that stuff. So yep, I'll pause the video till now. I don't want you to wait. So okay. So yep, basically the application got created, and now I'm inside the application, and you can see that inside the routes we have this all the basic structure. So let's just try to run it and see if it actually works. So what we need to do is to run npm run dev. This command will actually initiate it to our, like, it will try to authenticate with our store and try to connect with it, and we need to tell it which store we want to connect it. So yes, it will be most probably Shopify app YouTube, and I guess so it should work now. And once the configurations are done, it will ask me which store I want to connect. So let's just connect it to this theme extension wholesale. I was working on this wholesale B2B application, so yep, I will connect it to it so we could have a better understanding of how it should actually work. So yeah, let's just see what happens. Okay, so if I press P now, it will open the application interface for me. So you can see that the application itself is installed on my store, and I need to press install button. Okay, so Shopify proxy YouTube is actually installed. That's good. That's a good sign. So why is this gone? Can I the page to see if it actually works? Yes, it works. It's working. So yeah, just we need the backend server. So I'll firstly create what I'm doing right now is I will create firstly the extension. So for creating the extension, what I need to do is we will open another terminal, and the command we need is npx generate extension. And if what it will do is it will actually add something inside our extension folder, and you will see that now it's empty, but once I press enter it will start populating. So yeah, we will be firstly working on this extension. Yep. So let's just wait for it might take a few minutes to actually install all the libraries. So this video is going to be a bit longer than usual, but if you want to really solve this issue, you have to be patient and have to follow it step by step in order to get it done. So yep. Okay, so let's just wait for it. Or maybe I should just pause the video. I don't want to waste your time. I know you are already stressed out with that CORS issue. So yeah, let's just pause it. Okay, so it's asking me what type of extension I want. So I am making an extension which will be theme extension. So yep, you can make any type of extension. We need to give it a name, and I will call it app proxy as well. So let's just create an app proxy. You will see that the extension will be populated and app proxy is already there. So let's just create a new file here, and I will name it as you can call it whatever you like. I will call it proxy button, proxy underscore button dot liquid. So yeah, now I need to copy this schema from here because we need this schema. So I will copy this schema from here, and I will just, it's needed because if I save it without it, it will throw an error, and I don't want that. So let's just quickly add a section here. Section, and we need to close this tag. And once we are inside it, we need to put something like this, a div. And once I go outside it, and just we have the div as well. And now I need to add a button here. And what we need to actually do is we need to call on click. So just I am quickly calling it without any delay because I don't want you to wait for it. So click and test proxy, and this is a function, and just close this tag. so it won't get this error, and call to API. Okay, so this is what we are going to do here and nothing more. uh, Now in order to see that if it actually works, we need to npm run deploy, so we could actually see that if it's working. So let's just go to where was it, the theme extension, and I am going to online store. What I'm going to do is actually I am going to customize this one, and after customization, this is the proxy button. Why it's already here? It was because I was testing it, so let's just delete this one and add another app block, and something like this would be here. No, it's like we need to rename it because I'm using star rating, so let's just say it YouTube proxy check, and let's just save it. And if I refresh this page now and see if, okay, reload it, I don't want you to like it. Okay, so now we will actually have this application, I guess so. Okay, let's just delete this star rating from here and now add an app block and apps. It should be okay. So it's still star rating, and I know the reason why, because if I go to partners and if I go to the applications, this is the latest one application, and if I go to its variants, you will see that in variants on, yeah, the active app variant isn't being served on deployed store because it's because of some Shopify thing, and whatever new version will be deployed, it won't be served. So why? I already have this extension, I need to build it. Oh, okay. I need to deploy it again in order to have another version of this application. Yep. So let's just go to this button liquid. Where was it? Here was it. Yep. Okay, so now it's deployed, and if I now refreshes this page, now we can manage it easily, and it won't throw us error. And yep, so we need to turn it off in order to get the latest deployments we will be doing. So yep, just go to the extension itself, and now we need to actually check if it is working. So we can check it by going here, adding a section. Inside the applications, you will have this proxy check, and it should be added somewhere at the bottom or somewhere, I don't know. Okay, it's added here. So let's just save it for now. And okay, let's just go back to our code. What we are going to do here, we are going to write a script here, script and tab, and now we need to close this, and inside this on Z, inside this, yep, we need to call a function. What we are going to do is function, and we will call it test proxy. And what this function will be doing is actually is this function will actually return a fetch, and in fetch you need to pass the URL, which will be the URL you can get from here. So should we take it here? But for now, just put it. We have to change it somehow. So I will come to this part later on, but firstly we need to actually set it. So this one, and the second parameter would be uh, actually the head method, and we can put any method here. So I am putting method, for instance, let's put post. And if I go down, and now we need to put headers, and headers would be content type. So you can keep it small or content type, and then it will be application JSON. Okay, and after that I guess we need a comma and we need to put a body here. So let's just simply put any body here without any like JSON dot stringify. And what we need to pass inside this stringify, we need to pass an object, and this object will contain an email colon, and here we need to pass the Qasim MLK097 at the rate gmail.com, or else you could also pass another thing which is name colon Malik. That's it. And what else we could pass inside it? Yes, one more thing we need to pass inside it, which is actually we need, after this one we need to pass something like this. It will call redirect, and we need to pass, we can pass follow, or we can sometime it redirects, Shopify redirects to the auth, and we need that. So let's just keep it this way. And now what we need to do, so if I save this now, if I save this now, now we need to create this inside this app, inside this routes, we need to create a file which will be called as app dot custom proxy, custom slash proxy. Oh sorry, I need to rename this one, sorry. We need to pass dot ts, so it will actually be a TypeScript file. Okay, so for now I guess that's it. And here what we could actually do is, after this redirect follow, we can actually extend it to a bit where we can actually see the results. So let's just do dot then, and inside it the first parameter would be a response, and it will be an arrow function. And what we need to pass inside, just remove this one, we don't need this. So inside this, then we need to actually console log the response, console log this response, and you can actually call it response. Okay, so once we have this, we need to close this bracket as well. And once this bracket is closed, uh, we need to do something like this. If response dot okay, then what to do? If response is not okay, then what should it do? Response is not okay, then what should it do? It should actually throw an new error. And what this error will say, this should say something like this: http error, and we can say that status colon and then dollar. We are going to pass response dot status. So yep, that's it. I guess this s will be small. And now what we need to do is, actually we need to close this one. And okay, so we can actually, after this one, what we could actually do is, we can actually console log, we can say that const response data is equal to response dot, we should convert it into JSON. and after converting it into the JSON format, we could actually log and response data. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Or we could actually criticize it more, like after this we could actually uh, have put some conditions like for error handling. So else return response was stick, and this one, then data console log data, and after this one we will have this one, I guess. Yep, we will have dot then, and we will have here data. Response data, and we can simply put here data, and we have to close this bracket, and just let's just go down here, and after this one we could actually close this then now. Yep, we could close this then now, which will actually, it's difficult to work in this because it doesn't show us the brackets. So this one for the then, and here we need to put then, here we need to put catch error, and let's just, hopefully this one will be the last one. I need to delete this one, and mm, okay, still throwing some errors, so just give me a minute, I will just tell you what it is. So yeah, I was able to remove the rest because of some brackets and stuff like this, but you understood the logic what it is. I will upload this code to a GitHub repository and provide you the link so you could actually see what it is. So let's just quickly go to our app dot custom proxy and start writing the code there. So um, let's just see what happens here. So first of all, you need to import action function, command z action function. Yep, from rec remix. And the other thing you need is import authentication will be from authentication, and authentication will be from, let me tell you which file it will be. It will be most probably Shopify app server, this one, and this one is the authentication we need, this one. So let's just import this one from here. So it will be like something like this. You can put it app slash, and it's like Shopify server. We need to import it from there. What is the error? Okay, so let's just for now park it, and now we need to export a function which will be action function, and it will be of type action function, and then it will be async. Then we need to put a bracket inside which where we have this request, and then what we need is, okay, so this function, what's wrong here, async and request. And yep, here what we can do, that const we will actually read the request body, and we can do that by doing this, something like this. Like request, we are converting it back into the JSON form, and what we can do is we can console.log the response body, actually request body, and once the request body is there, what we can do, that we need to check the session. Now it's going to be a bit tricky part. So if I try this, what I am going to do is I'm going to get session and comma admin. What it will be, await the function we call authentication, and then we need to authentication, and it was like public dot app proxy. We need actually app proxy. Why it's not authentication dot public dot. Okay, what we did wrong here is authenticate. Yep, we needed this one, and here actually we need authenticate public dot. Now it will show us the app proxy, and we need to pass inside the request. Okay, and now if not equal to session, we can now return simply an error which will say that console dot error, and what it will say that no session found. And then what we are actually doing is now we will return some JSON response to whatever call we were making. If I could show you that it was actually if response was not okay, so what we were doing, something like this. Okay, so let's just do it from here, and what we are going to pass is error, and the error will be unauthorized. And after this one, we actually need to pass this status, and it will be I guess 401 is the status where it is unauthorized. Yep, so let's just keep it that way. And why it's not working, because we have to import this JSON as well. So yep, and now there is another error, which is like we need to put a catch here, and it will catch the error, and the error could be console logged, console log, and we can error it. And after console logging the error, actually we could try, we could actually return something here as well, return JSON, and we will say that proxy API error. So this is what I'm doing, it is actually returning this. So the problem is with this, that I have to put these brackets outside it, and we need to actually pass this inside this error and colon. Okay, so error, and then we can actually pass a message here as well, something went wrong. Yep, and we could actually pass uh, status, which will be 500 this time, and let's just save it. Okay, so now what we have to do here is where we actually return this. If session is not present, then what we have to do, and if session is present, what we could actually do is we could return something like return JSON, and we could say that message, what is it, message colon, and we will say that data received successfully fully. And what we could actually pass here is data colon, and we can actually pass the request body. Yep, so just simply pass request body, so we will have this request body in response. And in this case we have to pass this status, which will be 200, I guess. Yep, now save it. So let's just quickly deploy it. npm run deploy. Oh, but before that we need to change the link, this link to slash. Let's just not deploy it now. Let's just not deploy it now, and I will make changes and then we will deploy it. Okay, so here we have this link, we can get it from here, which is app slash custom proxy slash custom proxy. Okay, so let's just quickly save it, and now we need to run npm run deploy. Yep, so this will for your information, this will still throw an error, but we have to debug, we will actually overcome this. So let's just wait for it. Okay, okay, so it's deployed, and now if I go to my store itself, here you can see that if I refresh this page somehow, that button should be here, but it was not visible as I could see. Yep, the button is here. So let's just exit this one and go to the online store itself. Now inspect console, and okay, so we have this CORS issue now. The thing is, we need to actually fix it. How we can fix it? Firstly, you have to go to your Shopify partners. In the configuration of the application itself, now you need to define a proxy. You can do it by two ways. Okay, so here, to the proxy part, what you need to do is set up, and you need to give a subpath. I am going to give it public, and the proxy. Now what you can do is, you have to go to your Shopify app toml file. You need to copy this link which you have, and you have to go to your store, and you need to paste it there, and slash, now app slash, what was the name of the file? It was app slash custom proxy. Okay, so we need to go here and type app slash custom proxy. Okay, now we need to save and release this one. And if I go to my store admin page, and inside the apps, and in Shopify proxy YouTube app, what has failed? Sometime it do silly things. So let's just go here, and inside app sales and channels. Okay, and this one we need to see details. We need to copy the proxy itself, so there would be proxy somewhere. So this is our application proxy. We need to copy this. So whatever request will be made to this endpoint, it's actually the storage URL. It will be redirected to which one? The one in the partners portal, this one. These requests will be automatically transferred to this one. So yep, the proxy is here. So I just copied this one, and now in the extension, instead of making API request to directly to this server, we will use shop as intermediate, like the medium between them, and we will be making API calls to this. And if I save it, once I save it, I actually need to deploy it. So let's just deploy it, npm run deploy. Okay, so once it is deployed, all we need to do is wait for a successful deploy. Once it is deployed, we need to go to our application. We have to refresh the page. Okay, and if I call to API now, I have this response, and we have this response, and if I click on this, okay, it's an opaque response, but why I don't want an opaque response? I wanted to have status 404. What does this means? Where does it actually failed? It failed here on Proxy API error. Something went wrong. It went to this. Okay. Okay. Const session authenticate proxy. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll quickly fix it. So guys, I was able to make it work. Basically there were minor issues which I will tell you that, and I will also push the code to the GitHub so you can see what I changed. So now if I like call this API, what it actually does is it's actually returning a response, and inside it has data and it's returning my thing. So let's just quickly review what changes I have made. So firstly, in this button proxy, what I now did is made it simple, because previously async function was not handled properly. We were making a wait call and this function wasn't async. So that was the first issue. Then I simplified it. I remove all those extra error handlings and just replace it with this JSON data. And then I am just putting this inside this body, and if the response is okay, then like we are actually converting the error into text, and otherwise we are converting the response into JSON and just console logging it. And if there is an error, then we say error. And the other thing I had to add was this DOM loaded, like we have to add event listener to this DOM, because the async function is only allowed there. So that was the major problem. And on the app side, I compacted this code as much as I could. So now what actually I'm doing is I'm getting this request and I am posting this. Like you can see that from here, you will see that this API proxy has been hit. And after hitting that, what I am doing is I am calling the session and checking that if the session is valid or not, like if the request is coming from an authenticated source or not. If it is, then like if it is not, then it will return an error, and if it is, then it's simply returning the message. So now what we could actually do is we could try making an API call here. For example, I have this email, and if this customer exists on the shop, it will fetch it by via email using a mutation, and we will return that in response. So let's just do it so you will have better understanding of it, so how it is actually done. So let's just quickly which was it, yep. So now we need to write a mutation. So I will try to write, actually when I write code blindly, so this kind of mistakes actually happen from my side. I'm sorry for that. But here, before returning this data, what we could actually do is, if this request body dot email is present, then what we need to do, then we simply need to write a const here, and I'm find customer by email, and which will be equal to await. And now we will be using this admin which we authenticated, so we will use admin, and inside the admin we will be using this graphql, and inside this graphql actually we will be writing our mutation, and mutation something like this. And I can, just for the understanding, I can write this here, graphql, and then on the next line here we have to write the mutation. So we will pass here the query, and the query is fine. You can use any query here. So customer by email, the first letter is always capital, and then what we need to pass here, the email of the customer, and it will be always a string. And this needs to be written like this, yeah. And okay, after that what we need to do is to start this query, and inside is we will pass customer and first colon one query colon dollar email, yep. So you can get this query from, I'm actually writing it from the Shopify documentation. So you can write whatever query you like here. So I am actually using this one. So we'll be passing this. So here we need to pass the edges, and inside the edges we need to pass the node, and inside the node we need to pass the ID. And I guess so that's it. And after this one, actually we need to compact it a bit. Here we need to pause a comma here, and now we will be actually pausing the variables. So let's pause variables and colon, and this one will be email colon request body dot email. Okay, so I guess that's it. What's the error here? Unknown argument first on field query port. Okay, so give me a second. What it is? So it was nothing. Basically, I need to. We actually need to write code in a bit better manner, but I actually copied it from their site directly, like the documentation, and it worked. You can actually get this code, so don't worry about it now. For now. Yep, and here we need to actually get the customer data. You need to convert it into JSON as well, and once it is converted to JSON, what we need to actually do here, why it's getting like this? Okay, so const customer is equal to customer data equal to, why it's not working? Come on, see why it is not working. Okay, customer data. If customer data is present, then we need to extract data from it. If it is present, So yep, now we need to actually test it. So let's just test it. Mm, or we should just paste the customer ID here. Let's just try again. Okay, so I am passing it wrong. This customer doesn't exist on this shop. So let's just try with some other customer, which would be Proxy button, and instead of my this email, we could what we could pass is save it, and now we need to deploy it. Yep. So let's see what's comes out of this. So hopefully this will work this time. I'm pretty much sure. So okay, this video is too long. But actually it's quite, if you want to learn this, this was quite necessary. So let's just stay on this here. Okay, it's deployed. Now we need to go, sorry, we need to go here and this one, and let's just try, finger crossed. Why 404 not found? So I know this error because it happens when the proxy is somehow gone in the application. When you upload a new version, deploy a new version, it's actually gone sometime. Yep, it's gone. So let's just set it up again, and this proxy URL would be from here, and we need to copy this thing. It's better, there are a lot of errors, so it helps us learn a lot. So slash system proxy, and now we need to save and release it. And now inside the Shopify app itself, we need to refresh it to see if the proxy is present there. Okay, it's gone from here as well. We need to refresh it one more time to see if it is working. No, so we need to go to Shopify itself, and in the variants we need to actually check if the version 15 is deployed. Okay, so let's just check if it is not crashing somehow. So it's off. Okay, it's good, it's good. We need to refresh this page again and see if the proxy appears. So yeah, proxy is here now, so hopefully it should be working. Let's just clear this out. And why internal error? So request came and there is some error which is saying what. The good thing is it's returning error which it the GraphQL error access denied for customers. Ah, okay. So I choose the different wrong API. So we need to go here in the API access, and there would be something like customers, or we didn't provide it scope. So firstly provide a scope here. In the toml file we need to find a scope. Hmm, we need to save it, and the bad thing is uh, we need to now refresh it to see if changes reflect. If not, we have to run it again. Okay, so we have to run it again. So control C. Hopefully it will work this time. Yep, so don't worry about it. I know you are getting it's too much, but let's just focus on it. We will figure this one out. And now it's deployed. Let's just scopes in partner dashboard. Okay, so now we need to push it. It's pushed, so let's just jump onto the Chrome and see if the scopes are updated here. They should be. Let's now close this one and call to get API. Because the links are again changed, so we need to copy this one and again put the proxy. Um, Inside the Shopify app configuration, and we need to put this proxy here. Web slash okay, and the support will be public. And now we need to save and release it. And inside the application, where was it? Oh, sorry. Inside the application, we need to check the API access, not the API access. We need to check the configuration. Yep. And inside the themes, we need to refresh it. Yep. And if we call to API, what is there now? No pending migrations to apply. Proxy hit and email Kazim@com, name Kazim Malik. Now click for customer fields. Okay, let's just go back here and inside the API access, let's just give it permissions what it needs. So there would be some access, customer data access, request customer data access. Yep. And okay, so let's just select it and give any other reason. So I will be selecting all of them, so they won't have any sort of other. Yep, save it. and then the name field, we need to select all of them. I will pause it and select all of them. Or let's just continue here. So let's just select all of them. Let's just try it again, and this time see if it works. Now what is it? Well, the same errors. Please don't be the same error. I hate same errors. So you can actually make some other API call. I'm tired a lot. I will make another video for it, or I will push it alongside the code. But the video is getting too long. This error actually it's making trying to make an API call to the Shopify server, but the custom fields are not allowed. Something like that. Customer fields access is not allowed, but you know how to actually make this API call. So I guess that's it for this video. If you actually like the content, like, subscribe, and share, and have a lovely rest of your day.